welcome to another edition of the Don't Argue. All thanks to Palmerbet, our great sponsors, and Gids rocks the white. I stick with the black, just a little bit more. Helps you feel.
Mate, you look good. You look great in it.
Hey,
you
mate, all
great.
thanks to Palmerbet. Gids, how are you, buddy? Because we are really getting down to the business end of the season now, aren't we, mate? Things are starting to hot up, and teams are starting to get sorted out, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure, Matty. Mate, first of all, I was down, mate, your way. I'm not sure how close it was to home, but Mildura, mate, for a quick hit and run for a work trip.
Mate, Mildura is
early in the week.
8 hours away from me, big fella. I'm right down the end of the Great Ocean Road, big fella. But it's probably the furthest in town from Warrnambool. So there you go, kids.
Well, I was in Victoria, mate, anyway. Nice spot, mate. Beautiful country town.
They would have rolled the red carpet out for Kirk Gidley if he was in town. I can assure you, it is a great spot, Mildura. The Grand Hotel. I don't know whether you got the Gids, but it's a cracking spot and beautiful little spot, mate.
Nah, mate, as you say, matey, things are starting to heat up, mate. Mid-year, last game of Origin on the cards, and I guess, mate, teams will be looking to get back to their full squad after this Origin game, and mate, trying to have a good run into the semis, I guess. So, mate, it's an important, certainly back end of the year for teams that are on the edge of the 8. Teams that are just inside the 8, but they can feel a bit of pressure from the ones in that sort of 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th position. And I guess, mate, for the top sort of five or 6 teams, they want to be top 4, to get a second crack at the semi. So a big finish to the year ahead.
It's going to be massive, Gids. That is for sure. And what about the Sharks, mate? Continuing to beat up on the kind of the lower teams, aren't they, Gids? But they've only beaten one top 8 team this year. So do you reckon they're the real deal? What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think they're the real deal just yet. I think, mate, they're ticking along a little bit under the radar. I think, as opposed to last year, they had a pretty stellar year last year, first year under Craig Fitzgibbon. Disappointing finish, as Fitzy mentioned, being bowed out the first 2 games of the semis last year. So I don't think they'll be complacent this year. But as I say, mate, they're flying under the radar a bit. They've been reasonably full strength during this whole Origin period. So, mate, as long as you keep ticking off the wins, it doesn't matter how many you win by or how you get there, but you're still tracking all right.
Yeah, that's exactly right, mate. They're winning the games they should win. As I said, they've only beaten one team. I think it's Parramatta in that top 8. But, the next couple of weeks, we're certainly going to see whether they are the real deal. What about the Raiders, mate? They were pretty good again. Fast finishing Dragons, 36-26. Just getting another team that I reckon is just getting the job done, doing what they need to do during this period, Gids.
Well, mate, for sure, matey. I mean, they're sitting in 5th place at the moment, and a reasonably tight one against the Dragons, who can be a bit of a lottery, to be honest. But mate, they're probably flown under the radar a little bit, been reasonably consistent, a lot more consistent than some of the teams below them. So, mate, to be sitting 5th position, and they're on the same points, mate, as the Sharks, Storm as well, who are in 3rd and 4th. So, mate, they're travelling really well.
Yeah, travelling on beautifully well at the moment. Now, remember last year, Gids, they were kind of had to win every game just to make the final, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they certainly set themselves up for a really good finish.
Matty, I reckon the more they stay around that top 4, 5th position, I just think they'll keep building belief and confidence as it gets closer to the semis. So it'd be interesting to see if they can maintain that position.
Got a great fan base too. They really get behind them. Warriors, they were disappointing against the Rabbitohs. I reckon they were really shattered at home the week before. It was one that got away from mine, but they absolutely smashed the Eels, 46-10. That was a really impressive victory, Gids.
Yeah, they had to respond from that disappointing one back at Mount Smart, which I think was a sellout against where they got dusted by the Bunnies there the week before. So, all coaches are looking for all coaches and players are looking for a response after, getting dusted in such a big game back at home, sellout crowd. So, exactly what the crowd and the players would have hoped for there as responding, a real touch-up against the Eels.
And then what about the Bunnies, mate? They come out and get rolled by the Bulldogs, who have had just let's be fair, an average season. So it's just so hard to tip and pick at the moment, isn't it?
Well, how the hell do you pick that one, honestly? The Dogs getting pumped by the Knights by, 64-0 at home, and then they come out and they beat the Rabbits the following week. So I don't know how you meant to pick that. Pull a name out of a hat or get your kids to pick that one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you could have predicted that. Still a tight game. I mean, the Bunnies were still in it, mate. Well, that was the last set of the game. They were
Yeah.
actually still. It was literally the last set of the game where they were. They finished. Unfortunately, what was it? 4 points short, but they would have been kicking the goal to win the game. So it was still a tight one, but they'd be pretty filthy on that one. I think. Yeah. Demetrio, he was not happy after the game with some of the decisions.
It just shows though how close the comp is, isn't it? Like if you're not coming to play Gids each and every Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Thursday night, whatever it might be, against whoever, the opposition, then you're going to get absolutely touted. It's as simple as that. You've got to be in the right mindset, and that just shows, what a great season it has been.
How tight it is.
Talking about great seasons, and I know they've floundered the last 4 or 5 weeks, Gids, and I'm talking about the Dolphins, but that was an impressive victory and a win they really needed as a club, didn't they, to bounce back?
Yeah, for sure. It was a good game, that one. I watched that one on Sunday afternoon myself, and a tight game, went right down to the wire. And I mean, pretty hard done by the Titans. It's rare that a ref is happy to call and make a penalty for offside for putting pressure on a bloke taking a field goal. Like, you'd be filthy on it. But, was he offside? Yes, he was. But we've probably seen, 20 or 30 of those turn a blind eye to, because they're not willing to give the penalty right in front. But the rules are the rules, and you've got to stay on side, I guess.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple of contentious decisions, especially in those golden point kind of scenarios this year, haven't we, kids? Hey, let's have a look at this week's round of NRL matches. It promises to be an absolute beauty. Of course, no Thursday night because of State of Origin, but we do get back into Friday night footy, of course, 8 p.m. at McDonald Jones Stadium. It's your Newcastle Knights taking on the West Tigers. Head-to-head, all thanks to Palmer. The Knights are $1.18, Tigers at $4.90. At the line, the Knights at minus 14.5 at $1.88, Tigers plus 14.5 at $1.91. Key stats here for the Knights. Dane Gagai is on track for a return for the Knights, which would be huge. Bradman, Best, and Safidi are going to be monitored, obviously, after Origin. So that's going to be a couple of really big, important players. For the Tigers, Brett Naden, David Nofaluma could make a return after missing last week, while Luke Brooks and Abby Coruscant are both still a week away from injury. Knights have not won consecutive games all season, Gids. So that surprises me, to be honest. Look at that. Knights have won their last 3 games against the Tigers, and the Tigers are on a 5-game losing streak, and a couple of really big losses in there as well. I don't really have to ask, mate, but you're all over the Knights here, aren't you, surely?
Well, mate, they had their best performance in not just this year, in years, mate. Like 64-0. I know the Dogs were poor, 2 weeks ago, so they've had a bye in between. They have got Bradman Best, who's making his debut for New South Wales, which really proud of Bradman. He's come through all the pathways for New South Wales, so I hope he does well. And whether he backs up and Jacob Safudi, yet to be seen. Probably 2 days after a game, I think it'd be pretty risky maybe to back those guys up, but they'll put their hands up. There's no doubt about that. Look, mate, as a player, Matty, you'd be filthy on not winning 6 consecutive games, and the players would be aware of that.
Yeah,
mate, the players will be aware of that, and if they're not aware of it, the media at press conferences would certainly be letting them know. So, mate, if I was a player, if I was a captain, I'd be making sure at captain's run that I grabbed all the playing group, the 17 blokes who are playing, and make sure we're well aware of that, and that it's not good enough, and that this game is non-negotiable, and it's a win, and we've got to do everything possible to make sure we get it done. So I think they'll be aware of that, the Knights boys, and at home, Tigers have been a bit of a bogey team for the Knights in the past, but I think they can get it done convincingly, 13 plus.
An amazing stat, that, and if you look back on the year, you just would not have thought that. But it's certainly true. The boys at Palmerville, they don't get it wrong. Gids very often, it's for sure. Hey, Bulldogs v Broncos, Saturday 3 p.m. at Belmore Sports Ground, head to head. Bulldogs at $2.85, Broncos at $1.43 at the line. The Bulldogs plus 6.5 $1.90, Broncos minus 6.5 $1.90. Key stats all thanks to Palmerbet for the Bulldogs. Ryan Sutton is unlikely for the Dogs, with Tavita Pangai Jr. set to be promoted to the starting lineup in his place. While for the Broncos, Pat Carrigan will be monitored after Origin, while Kurt Capel could return from a hamstring injury. Broncos have won 4 of their last 5 games, while the Dogs have won 1 of their last 5. Broncos have won their last 4 games against the Dogs. And the same time last year in round 20 in 2022, the Broncos were sitting 4th, but they dropped 5 of their last 6 games to finish 9th and miss the finals. How can we forget that, Gids? So will that be just playing in the back of the Broncos' minds, do you reckon, buddy?
I think they'd be aware of, the disappointment, the way they finished the back end of last year. If anything, mate, that would be more motivation for me to make sure I'm preparing well every week, making sure, we're running the video sessions and making sure the training sessions are really intense and of high quality. So I think it'd actually be in the back of the players' minds, but it would actually motivate me to make sure it doesn't happen again. That's for sure. So, mate, I think Broncos, a definite win for this one. I think, what Pat Carrigan will back up. He's tough, he's resilient, and I think the Bronx mate can get it done. With we haven't seen enough of the consistency from the Dogs this year to lean towards them. So, mate, Broncos 13 plus.
I reckon Broncos just been one of the most consistent teams all year for mine. So yeah, they're certainly top pick. Hey, Seagulls taking on the Cowboys, 5:30 p.m. at 4 Pines Park, head to head. The Eagles $2.23, Cowboys at $1.66. Seagulls at plus 3.5, $1.90. Cowboys minus 3.5, $1.90. Key stats here for Manly: Daly Cherry Evans and Jake Trebojevic. The Turbo will be monitored after Origin. Jake Arthur will play half if Daly Cherry Evans is unavailable. Will play at the half, sorry. For the Cowboys Origin trio, Valentine Holmes, Murray Talagi, and Nanai will play if they come through Origin unscathed. So we're getting to kind of Saturday night, so they've had a few days to recover. The Cowboys have won only 2 of their 8 away games this season, so been ordinary on the road, and the Cowboys have won 4 straight games in a row. Will they make it 5 against Manly, who have been hot and cold this year, Gids?
Yeah, no, I just think of that myself, Matty. I mean, to start the year, Eagles at 4 Pines Stadium, they're almost unstoppable. They're really toweling teams up. What I've noticed too, they're getting big crowds, big supportive crowds there. They've made some upgrades of the stadium, and every time I watch their games at home this year, they got some real genuine belief and support behind them. I think they have been a little bit inconsistent, probably again during that Origin period where they've got some key players backing up or out. Geez, I reckon they're pretty juicy odds here head to head.
I do too.
A bit under $2.30. So, man, I'm thinking Eagles head to head. I mean, Cowboys are starting to build some belief. They've won 4 on the bounce, but I still think Eagles, 4 Pines, Saturday. Yeah, it's a good time, Saturday evening. I reckon they'll have a good turnout. So, Eagles head to head, mate.
It's a couple of little unknowns here, isn't there? Because if Daly Cherry Evans and Turbo play, I can't see Manly running out at $2 kind of 30, if you know what I mean. Look, I think their odds will certainly shorten.
Well,
so might be a sit back and watch.
I think, look, I think Daly Cherry Evans is a bit more sensible post-game celebrations, if you get me. So I don't think he's. I can't picture him letting his hair down too loosely. After Origin 3. So I think he'll back up as opposed to probably some of the blokes who I played Origin with, like Choc Watmeo and the Stewart boys. I would have ruled them out, definitely.
I love it, mate. Hey, Roosters v the Storm. This all of a sudden's got a fair bit of importance, this game too. Saturday, 7:35 at the SCG, the Sydney Cricket Ground. Head-to-head, the Roosters $2.45, Storm $1.56. At the line, the Roosters plus 4.5, $1.90, Storm minus 4.5, $1.90. Key stats here, all thanks to Palmerbet for the Roosters. Brandon Smith could make a return, which would be a huge boost. While James Tedesco, Lindsay Collins, they'll both be monitored off the back of Origin. For the Storm, Willie Warbrick is back after a head knock, while Cam Munster, Harry Grant, Xavier Coates, they'll all be monitored. And obviously a victorious Maroon side, as you just touched on there. They're going to be celebrating pretty hard. Storm have won 3 of their past 4 trips to Sydney this year. Storm have won their round 6 clash 28-8. against the Roosters. Storm have won 6 of their last 7 games against the Roosters. So all stats, if you look at that, Gids, point towards.
Well, mate, let me just address something, mate. You've just mentioned there about the celebrations on Wednesday night. It'll be a somber mood for the Queenslanders
Well, yeah,
due to losing Origin.
I'm thinking
game
about
3.
just the series win. I'm thinking.
Okay. I'll
They
forgive you.
might have done that a couple of weeks ago. They might have.
Yeah. Mates, I mean, the Roosters uncharacteristically sitting in 13th position, which, you know, they're a powerful club. There's no doubt about that with the leadership they have there from a board level. You know, Trent Robinson as head coach, they've had some great success. They've recruited some great players, which they are able to do each year. But they wouldn't be happy, mate, sitting in 13th position at the moment. So I can't get on the Roosters, mate, for this one. I think the Storm, mate, again, they consistently are always competing for not just top 8, but top 4. So I'm on the Storm here.
Love it, mate. Not very often I hear those words come out of your mouth, Gids. I'm on the Storm. So this is good. This is really good. Hey, Warriors v the Sharks. Beauty. This is going to be an absolute match of the round for mine, Gids. Sunday, 2 p.m. at Go Media Stadium. Head-to-head, the Warriors $1.90, Sharks $1.90. So it is a toss of the coin. At the line, the Warriors plus $1.5 $1.90, Sharks minus $1.5 $1.90. Key stats, all thanks to Palmerbet for the Warriors. Sean Johnson is still to be confirmed after the birth of his second child. For the Sharks, Dale Finucane is still out through suspension. So Cam McGuinness will start at lock. In their last 4 wins, the Warriors have scored 40 points on average. Okay, so they're scoring machines, really attacking and aggressive.
Yeah.
Rugby league. And the Warriors have won their round 5 clash when we go back 32-30. It was a close game. We spoke about the Sharks earlier, mate, trying to get a scalp, in the top 8. This is their opportunity to shine over against a very, very good side at the moment that's playing some good league.
Yeah, also my match of the round too, Matty. I think it's an exciting one. It'd be nice to settle up for this one, 2:00 Sunday, to watch him go around over in NZ. Look, Sean Johnson, I think he'll play. You know, he's close to home. If the bub comes beforehand, I still think he'll be back up because he'll be on a high. And mate, if he does play, he can get a quick tap on the shoulder to scoot off the field and get to the berth quick enough. So I think he's in, and you know, obviously having him in the team is a huge plus for the Warriors. So yeah, tough one to choose this one. I think I'm going to opt, mate, to go with the Warriors 1-12 for this one. But I think, you know, both teams deserve to be where they are on the ladder at the moment. What do we got? 1-12. Well, $3.30. New Zealand 1-12. That'll do, mate.
Yeah, I'm with you, Gids. I actually reckon they were really disappointed with a couple of weeks ago on their home deck, and I reckon they're not going to come out and be so laconic this week, the Warriors. So they've got a fair bit.
For sure. I think we've got to get, mate. I think great rap for the coaching staff and what they've been able to do with the Warriors this year after, you know, a few challenging years with COVID. So I think most of the fans, if the Warriors would be, the second favourite for a lot of NRL clubs for what they did during that COVID period. So I hope they have a good year and they continue on their form.
Couldn't agree more, mate. Well said. Hey, Dolphins Panthers Sunday 4:05 KO Stadium. Dolphins head-to-head 4.50. Panthers at $1.20 at the line. The Dolphins plus 13.5 $1.90. Panthers minus 13.5 $1.90. Key stats here for the Dolphins. Kafusi is in line to return from concussion, but Jeremy Marshall-King is in doubt. For the Panthers, Nathan Cleary is still a week away. Geez, they're going to be good when they get him back. While all the Origin players, and there's a few of them, will be monitored as well. Backing up on Sunday, I think they're going to be a chance. Panthers have won 4 of their last 5 games, while the Dolphins have won 1 out of 5. This is the first clash between the Panthers and the Dolphins this year. There you go. So I didn't even know. Well, first clash ever.
Right.
So they haven't played each other.
Okay.
Will they feel each other out, mate? Be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I reckon it'd be a fair turnout for, Dolphins fans, obviously, to back their team, but also to see the Panthers at their home stadium up in Queensland at KO Stadium. Mate, you know what? I can't back against the Panthers because they've consistently done well during this Origin period, whether Nathan Cleary is there or not, or Crichton or Liam Martin, whoever they have in their team, whether there's Origin players there or not, they seem to get the job done. I mean, even the addition of Jack Cogger this year, who's come back from the Super League, and he's slotted into the half position really well and done his job. with Nathan Cleary being out with his hamstring. So, I mean, the statistics over the last few years show that you shouldn't be backed against them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't matter who they got out.
Just been a great team, haven't they? And looking for 3 on the hop, which would be huge this year. Final game, kids. It's the Eels v the Titans, Sunday, 6:15, Combank Stadium. Eels $1.36, Titans at $3.18 at the line. Eels minus $8.5, $1.90. Titans plus $8.5, $1.90. Key stats here for the Eels. All of the Eels Origin players are expected to back up from Origin, barring injury. While for the Titans, Joey Stimson is likely to be out with a head knock, while all 4 Origin players for the Titans will be monitored, but they're expected to play as well. Eels have won 7 of their last 8 games against the Titans. That's a fairly damning stat. And the Titans have won only 2 of 9 away this season. Titans' best is all right, I'm telling you. I reckon they're the value of the round here, the Titans.
Yeah, no, there's some bloody healthy value there from this week. And I think the Titans, you probably can't read a stack into, losing their last 7 games against the Eels. I think they're a different team this year. Obviously got the most amount of players, represented Origin for the first time ever this year. So they're obviously playing with a bit more confidence and belief in their game. They've dropped down the ladder a little bit outside of what were they? We were talking about them being 9th the other week when Justin Holbrook got punted. So, I mean, the Eels will be filthy on last week. They got dusted last week and got dusted against the Warriors pretty convincingly. So you think they'd be looking for a response with that. And I think their Origin players will want to have a big game on Wednesday night, and they'll want to back up, given it's a Sunday game. So I'm on the Eels, mate. Here, I think it's still going to be a 1-12 match. So Eels 1-12.
I love it, mate. I love it. Now, listen, we need a little drum roll here, Gids. You got a little drum roll for me, mate, or something?
Yeah.
Little drum roll. Hey, last week for the Palmer Bet followers, Kurt Gidley, 5 out of 5 for the big fella. Well done, mate. Yes.
Yeah, no. Yeah, mate, 5 out of 5. I think I did get. I don't want to reflect on the past too much, but I did get 8 out of 8 one week. But look, 5, mate. It's good, man. I think big chance of continuing on this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll wait and see.
And I don't want to rain on your parade, mate, but 1 out of 4 in your Gids get on in your little multi last week was the Dolphins.
Sorry, mate, you're breaking up. You're breaking up there.
1 out of 4. All right. Hey, listen, what do we got? What do we got this week, mate? Let's go. It's a pick 7. There's only 7 games this week, Gids. So what do you got for us, mate? I'm going to key it in. It's really
pick
simple.
7. Yeah, mate, punch it in the Palmer Bet app. Very simple, mate. Get on the Knights to win, Broncos to win, Eagles, Storm.
Hang on, I've just gone. I've got to just get back out of here, Gids. Sorry. Get back out of here. So I've got to key these. I'll just, right, Knights, yep. Broncos.
Yep, Knights, Broncos.
Yep.
Yep, Eagles.
Oh, a bit of an upset.
The Storm.
Yep. Yes.
Yep, Warriors.
Oh, yes.
The Panthers.
Yep.
And the Parramatta Eels, mate, to wrap up the round.
Beautiful, Gids.
What are we looking at there?
That is going to get us. Oh, you're not going to believe it. I've got those little try scorers in there, mate. $20.
That's all right, mate. I've got the odds here. If we need them.
$20. Virtually 19.93. So virtually $20 rounded up. That is good value, and you're in good nick at the moment. So you got the 5 last week. There's only 7 games this week. You only got to get 2 more, mate, for 20-1. I love it. What else have we got for the Gids to get on this week, big fella?
Yeah, mate, the Gids get on, mate, this week. I've gone for a few anytime try scorers. I've waited till the wrap-up of the round for the Eels versus the Titans, mate. So Mike Acevo, I think he sits top of the ladder for try scorers in the NRL this year. And I think Gutho will come back with plenty of confidence and enthusiasm after his stellar game off the bench for New South Wales. And I also think David Fifita, mate, anytime. So those 3 anytime try scorers in the Eels v Titans.
Now, David Fifita, he's at 335 too, so he puts a bit of value into it. Rounded up to about $10, Gids, all thanks to Palmer Bet. And make sure you put the right Fifita in. Don't stuff that up.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Yeah. Now the other one will blow the odds right out, I'd say.
Hey, Gids, it's going to be a cracking round. But I must admit, I'm really excited about the back half of this year. I reckon this is going to be one of the most even kind of last 7 or 8 weeks, and then finals. It's going to be a brilliant finish to this season, that is for sure. And I'm really looking forward to it because so many teams have got a realistic live chance, haven't they?
Yeah, no, for sure, mate. I think when you look at the whole season overall, before you kick a footy at round one, there's almost pre-origin, origin period, post-origin, and then semis. And I think teams will certainly draw a line in the sand after this round, and setting some new goals and some targets about where they want to be over the next X amount of rounds till round one of the semi.
Hey, listen, mate, download the Palmer Bet app. It's really simple to navigate through. And as we always say, gamble in a responsible manner and always think about what you're really gambling with. Gids, you have a wonderful week, mate. And fingers crossed we can go a couple better. 5 from 5 last week. Let's get 7 from 7.
100%, Matty. All the best, mate. Thanks, everyone, and have a great weekend.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.